That's cool. Hello, everyone. Max McGilvery from Beanstalk Global. We're live with the illustrious ladies from Women in Food and Farming. We're just going to let all the social media lines, cables, streams, satellites connect with all those platforms. Then we'll go fully live with the amazing Clare Keegan, Head of Business Enterprise Services at Harper Adams University. Clare, just tell everyone again, what's the weather at in Newport, Shropshire?
Icy.
Icy. All ready for Christmas. Kirsty, where are you today?
I'm near home in Grantham.
Okay, and what's the weather like with you? And don't say dark.
I was going to say damp. It's a bit of a fog rolling in at the moment.
And we got our rolling weather girl in the car. Debbie, where are you?
Yeah.
What's the weather like with you?
On the way back from Cambridge, and it is a bit like Kirsty was saying, a bit damp and dank.
Yep. Okay, and Debbie, we got to promote it. What were you doing today in Cambridge? What illustrious event is happening next week, please?
Oh, so next week is the Cambridge University Potato Growers Association annual Christmas Christmas associated conference and dinner. So there's lots of things potato going on next week in Cambridge.
Excellent. And just give us a quick rundown of the format of the 2 days and the dinner.
Okay, so everybody collects in the late morning. There are various keynote speakers. This year we're talking about the challenges of IPM and aiming towards zero carbon footprint over time. There are some really interesting speakers sort of pushing the boundaries of technology in terms of things like water and cultivations. And then in the evening we have a dinner, and we have an amazing speaker this year who's going to talk to us about all things people, Max.
Yes.
And then the following day we have some workshops and then some keynote speakers to finish. So it's a 2-day event, and it's based at let me think, trying to think which of the Cambridge colleges, and then the dinner is actually at St John's College, Cambridge, Robinson College, and then
well done. And you very kindly requested I come in to do a set of live interviews, and
which would be great. Yes.
Yeah, because it's and I've already got my list from yourself and your colleagues as to who you want me to interview, and to me it's such a bellwether as to how everyone is feeling, and also where the sector is going. With especially looking at the list of people that you've asked me to. It's not really an interview, is it? It's more of a chat about the sectors that but it works. But it works so well. Go on.
Line in the sand, because it's such a pivotal time in the potato industry, because there's no AHDB, but there are so many challenges.
Yeah. So if you can go to the event, brilliant. We'll see you there with Debbie and her colleagues. And if not, you'll see. Oh, Debbie, I think it's going to be about a dozen interviews that we'll put up on online. Or you'll read all about us in the local press about the keynote speaker and what happens.
And the Farmers Weekly.
The Farmers Weekly. Okay, right, Kirsty, tell us about Women in Food and Farming, please.
So Women in Food and Farming is a collaboration of women who are all linked in some way to food and farming. It's in the title. What we do is to support each other. We host regular events like this every month, where we bring in fantastic guest speakers to talk about topics of interest. They range from technical talks to talks on mental health, to talks on emotional well-being and how to succeed in the industry. And then we also host live events where we can get together and network with each other. And in particular, the live events are really useful to support young women who are either joining the industry or have been working in the industry for a few years, helping them find some support and guidance and maybe a little bit of inspiration as well.
Excellent. Well done. And we must be running. It feels like we've been running 2 years now, whilst we've been, I don't know the right expression, covering over the whole pandemic thing. And we've kept going with these broadcasts because the in-live person events are obviously fantastic. But just looking at the social media feeds, there's 280 odd people dialed in. So it's a great way for reach for Women in Food and Farming, and also looking to promote things, whether it be Debbie's conference next week, whether it be Kirsty's MDS, or whether it be Harper Adams. Debbie, do you want to introduce Clare?
I do. Harper Adams, as you know, is an amazing place, and Max, you particularly know because that's where you went for your college education. But Harper Adams for me is absolutely pushing the boundaries of what is important going forwards. Claire is a member of the senior management team at Harper Adams, does a great job in a number of roles, and in particular of late has taken a great deal of interest pushing forwards the Harper Adams School for Sustainable Farming, and that's her topic tonight. Claire has actually spoken to us before, so it is great that she's particularly speaking to us tonight about this amazing venture into the commercial world and into the forward-looking world, looking at how to make farming sustainable. So over to Claire, please.
Well, Claire, before you start, just to say, this is the second time on Women in Food and Farming. I think a bit like a Costa Coffee loyalty card. You'll when you get to 5 points, not sure what you're going to get, but we'll definitely send to you on something. If it's okay, Claire, I just want to give a bit of a background, especially for those that are on the podcast, because they really enjoy from the feedback that we've got, just having a little bit more information. So here goes. In our December broadcast, we've got the great pleasure of having Clare Keegan, Head of Business Enterprise Services at Harper Adams University, join us to discuss the School of Sustainable Food and Farming. Together with their key partners, they aim to educate, inspire, and empower current and future farmers to achieve net zero with a sustainable farming and food system. The School of Sustainable Food and Farming at Harper Adams is supported by their steering partners, Morrison's, McDonald's, UK and Ireland, and the National Farmers Union. The shared purpose is to equip farmers with skills and knowledge towards net zero within sustainability parameters, economic, environmental and social, talk a common language with regards to net zero and sustainable farming, improve farm data to track carbon emission reductions and sequestration offsetting as a whole farm system approach, and finally encourage new entries into the food industry and a diversity of entrepreneurial people. And if you want to have a look at the website whilst Claire is talking, just have a look at School of Sustainable Food and Farming, all one word, .org. It's very, very good website, and there's a lovely video on the front of that. Claire, is that okay? Was that a good introduction? Do we need you anymore, Claire?
No, you don't need me anymore. Thanks. Can I go now?
No problem. Just a couple of housekeeping points. Debbie, do you want to just turn off your video? Kirsty, do you want to just turn off your video? And I don't know how she's done it. I've just had a WhatsApp from Christine. So Christine has been with us every broadcast, whether it be in the UK or whether it be in Portugal. She's flying back from New Zealand, and somehow she's WhatsApped us to wish you all the best, Claire, and to thank you very much for being on the broadcast. That's probably cost her about £15 in data charges, but she just wanted to say hello.
Wave to her in the sky.
Yes, she flies back from New Zealand back to UK. So this venture the timing is so apt, isn't it? That you think of all of the events that we've attended. Thank the Lord, over the last years, we've got back into the frame of things. All the talk has been around sustainability and net zero. And there seems to be so much confusion, Claire, as to it and that there's this demand, this requirement for information. And presumably we can all go to yourself and your colleagues and your partners to find this information to learn.
That's the idea. Obviously, it's a place to share. The idea is that the school is bringing together the great and the good from the industry to help others start and go through the transition. We know that it's going to take time. We've all got different targets for net zero, and I think that's part of the confusion. We've obviously created targets for our own future farm, but the government targets and different industry groups' targets have different 5s and 0s on the ends. And obviously what we're all doing is going in the same direction, but we want to bring people together to help them share what they're learning and to give that to others. So it's a sharing space. The website currently has been under development for over a year now, and we've been working on so many different projects. And I'll share my slides and just give you a quick update really on how it's all going and what we've done.
Well done. So show slide 7. Claire, I know you've done this so many times before. Remember, there's people on the podcast, so if you can be animated on certain bits as you get to that, so we cover all the bases, that'd be fantastic. And I'll just turn off my video. Off you go.
Okay, so I don't need to read this because Max has already done it for me, but that's the aim. to educate, inspire and empower current and future farmers. And, you know, that's everybody that's coming at it from a different background. So there might be people that are interested in regenerative agriculture. There might be people interested in biodiversity. And it's about bringing everyone together and sharing your stories. And we're doing that in lots of different ways. Slide's not moving. So, it's about equipping farmers with skills and knowledge, but that's done in lots of different ways. We've got a knowledge exchange place where you can go to, and you can look at seminars and events that have already happened, where the school have had presentations and farmers have talked about their experiences. You can go to some new events that are coming up. So it might be at the Oxford Farming Conference. If you're there on the 6th of January, we are announcing the winners of our Journey to Net Zero competition. So we've got 4 people out of 8 finalists that are going to be given some prize funds to develop their journey, and we'll follow them along the way and we'll tell you their stories. It's about talking a common language. So we're creating a virtual learning environment so you can go and meet other people and learn, but also we'll start to create forums where you can talk about specific subjects around net zero and sustainable farming. It's about farm data, carbon measurement. You know, we've got lots of different tools. We've got a number of different projects working on how we compare those tools. And we are doing a lot of work with Trinity AgTech on the Sandy tool, but we're also doing a lot of work on how we compare the data that comes off different carbon tools and what that means to farmers and how we then gather that information year on year. And then it's about new entrants into the industry. So that's everybody from our students. So it might be somebody who's starting year 1 on an agriculture course and how we develop sustainability as part of that. We're sitting on a trailblazer group at the moment for the new assistant farm business manager apprenticeship that's coming down the line. So that's being developed by employers at the moment for providers to start delivering as soon as it's ready. And then we've also done some work with DEFRA, and the school's sort of partnered with the team at Harper that are working on that project to encourage new entrants into farming. And that's all about finding entrepreneurs and developing them over a 6-month period to create startup and scale up farms in a different way. So community farming, shared farming, but using sustainability as a core subject for their development. And then we've got a variety of different pillars. So I'm the lead for pillar 2, which is about upskilling the current workforce. And that's everything from looking at how we can do short bite-sized chunks of learning for people and how we can start building those onto the website so people can start taking part. And that we're developing a sustainability course at the moment. The first one will be free, and then you can join and take part in others if you want to go further at different levels. We've got research projects that have been going on for 12 months now, and 4 of the research projects that were funded originally by Morrison's have put papers onto the website so you can have a quick snapshot, a case study of what they've learned as part of those research programs. New talent is all about new people into the industry. I talked about that briefly, and about how we change the way that our students see farming in the future and use the net zero goals and sustainability as the core to drive the types of plans that they work on. And then the 4th pillar is all about policy and how we support people. So we've been developing something in terms of an application of science report. And that report has been done with Lord Curry of Kirkale as the chair, with a working group. And they've summarised that and put it on the website now, so it's ready. And it was launched in London a couple of weeks ago. So we work with delivery partners, and there's lots of delivery partners in the collaboration sense at the moment that are working with us. And they might give us staff time or expertise to do things. It might be a cash contribution to sponsor an event or to create something that's happening by way of survey, research, activity. It might be a collaborative project, so an on-farm trial or product testing or an awards event where they're giving prize money. All those kinds of things and I'll share these slides so Max can send them out, are available. And it's a wide variety of people coming forward now to help us to get those messages across. And it's about coming together to find somebody that you can connect to. That's what the school's there for. And that's the website that Max mentioned, and a contact address which will come through both to me and to the newly appointed strategic director, Simon Thelwell, who is now in post.
Excellent.
That's the end of my slide.
Well done, and congratulations to Simon for the new position. That's great news.
Yeah, really good. And we're building the team, so there'll be a couple of new people coming on board at the end of January, and really then can start to grow the school. Although, it's touched every part of the university, and we work with all those different people now, Morrison's, McDonald's. McDonald's have supported a project with Leaf Education that we're working on for the new year. So that will be all about their research around what young people are thinking between 12 and 17 years old about farming and the future of food production. What do they think, and what do they want to be in terms of their career? How do they get involved? What does it mean to them? So we gathered all that evidence, and now we're going to run some events. And we've got some progressive young farmers at the university that are going to work with them.
Yeah, where I think it's Clare, where I think it's so good is there's a couple of words that you've missed out. It's only just jingoistic me that wants to bring them in. We've said it a number of times before, but over the last 2-3 years, collaboration. If you want to find a solution to be able to collaborate together, it's more likely that you're going to find that solution through that collaboration. And also community. By the sounds of it, what you're looking to create within the School of Sustainable Foods and Farming is a community of like-minded people who can share resources, share information. It's sort of open sourced, so that if someone has a solution, it can then be shared within the school to the benefit of everyone.
Yeah, and the conferences and seminars that we've had so far have very much been about that. So people coming on board, asking sensible questions, but sharing their experiences. Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do. And those recordings we're putting onto the website so people can go back and look at them. Yeah. But also it's about the reach, as you've said. It's about communities. If we bring all the different communities together into one place, then it's about their reach as well. So we can try and get to all the farmers in the UK, but through different means. Yep.
And I just want to give you a real life example, because this is not an easy road, but it's a road that we all need to go down. I found it very interesting this year going to the likes of cereals, so then Groundswell, and the complete difference of audience profile that cereals. It was the typical farming male in a suit or similar, age 40s to 50s. Then Groundswell is a really young crew, and a lot more women, ladies as well there. On Friday, with my recruitment hat on, I was chairing shortlist meetings for a farm manager role for a large farm in Suffolk, 5,000 plus acres. And that farm is made up of 2 individuals, 2 business partners, one in the 50s, one in the late 70s. And one of the candidates that came through works for an amazing organic farming business. And his first question was, what would you want to achieve with our 5,000 acres? And his view was, well, to make it sustainable and if at all possible, to go down the organic route. And then there was this sort of standoff between the farmers and the candidate, because the candidate knew where it could go, but the farmers were very not reticent, because they know that need to change. But as they said, well, we have 25% of our land is sugar beet. We need to plough it. We have to plough. How do we get around that? And the candidate couldn't answer, because obviously there isn't an answer at this point in time. But we all came to the conclusion at the end of the what it turned into a conversation rather than an interview, that we all need to go down this route. For the most important thing we have is soil, and we all need to go down this route, but we don't all have the answers. But it then turned out that the farmers had invested in an 8-year-old direct drill where they can deploy it when their conditions are right, because actually they do want to go down that route. So we are driving societal change, but we need this type of new educational enterprise from yourself and your colleagues at Harper Adams to drive the change, to the point that these two gentlemen are now watching you because they wanted to find out more, and they wanted to engage with Harper so that they could learn, because they've been shocked by how much information is coming at them, and they wanted to go to a trusted partner to find out more. So we've already got people dialing in, Claire, to find out more. So Claire, here comes the big question: what does success look like for yourself and your partners for the School of Sustainable Food and Farming? Say 3 years, 5 years down the line, what will you want to achieve, please?
Well, we've got a big work plan in mind, and the idea being that we grow the virtual learning environment and also create a space that is, as you said, the place where people come to find out more. It's I'd like to create the metaverse for sustainable farming, and we're looking at tools that we can use to support that sort of digital presence to help meet people's needs while they're in the field, if they've got a question that they can answer. But it is about engagement and connection, and not every answer will be the right answer for a farm in Wales as it is in a farm in Kent. So we're going to have to create all the different opportunities and bring them together.
Yeah, but I love that answer. My colleague Ian, he bought a new monitor and he couldn't see how to fit it up because the instructions weren't with it. So what's he do? He goes onto YouTube and there are all the instructions. And so that's what we hopefully going to be able to have with yourself, that if a farmer is and wants to gain more information, or is having a debate with a family member or an agent or whatever, or a landlord or a tenant, they'll be able to dial in or attend a course or communicate with yourself or one of your colleagues to find the answer. Again, is that where you want to be?
Yes, to drive that conversation and to create a space where they can go and find the answer. It's early days for us, and we've got a lot to do in terms of the virtual learning space, but it's in development. So can I just ask people to bear with us while we get it all set up? Yeah,
but no, that's even more the fun thing about it. That's we're all learning on this, and there will be some mistakes, but there's always a positive from any perceived negative. I've just had a WhatsApp in about collaborations. Claire, I can see that you've got some great collaborations with the likes of Morrison's, McDonald's UK and Ireland, and the NFU. Are you looking to create other collaborations, say with machinery specialists who are looking to be active in this area?
Yeah, so we're really keen to look at agri-tech and the equipment space, because obviously we've got to look at precision farming as one of the solutions as well to support soil health. So, there's all sorts of different developments that we've done that have been related to other work at Harper around hands-free farming, and also looking at communication tools for the rural space and 5G in rural areas, and how we can support farmers with communication in that way. And if we go down that route, we also need to look at energy use, solar storage, battery life, EV, etc., etc. So there's lots of different conversations going on at the moment.
Okay, and just to confirm, you'd be open to collaborations for third-party companies or consultancy firms to engage with you, for you to be that linchpin for all of this? Yeah,
so we've got a delivery partner agreement. It's all about how we work with those partners and if they're happy to share their knowledge with others. It's not always about creating income streams. It's about developing that collaborative space.
Yes, because there's a term in social media: give, and then there'll be some take. If we all give to yourself and Harper, in this respect, it's going to benefit the sector as a whole, and then there's going to be some upside for those that require it further down the line. A very large farmer from Norfolk has just WhatsApped me to say, what's 5G? in Norfolk. I'm sure like in other areas that
it's really challenging. Can I just say, it's probably better off going with Starlink.
Yes. Yeah, Starlink is basically a couple of my contacts I've got. Those who don't know what Starlink is, Elon Musk, love him or loathe him, but he's created this amazing system where you basically buy a box, £500, and then you have a satellite, and it's either on your house, or it can even be on your tractor if you have the mobile version. It's something like £120 a month, but it gives you, it's about 200 meg up and down. It's phenomenal, and at the moment it's covering Northern Hemisphere. It's not trying to get too political. It's one of the reasons why the Ukrainians are doing so well in their defense of their country, because Starlink donated their technology to them, and hence why all the drones and things are working over there. So there are solutions out there, but also, Claire, there's a number of technologies out there, the likes of software that can work without requiring a direct link. That they just load it all up, and as soon as it gets a link, it's there. So all that technology is there or is coming.
Yeah, and we've been working with there's an agri-living lab that's been created at Harper that's starting to work on some of those projects. So that's another avenue to look to for the future.
Yep, and so as an organisation, are you looking to attend various events? You mentioned about the Oxford Farming Conference, which I wouldn't mind coming back to, but will you be going to other events, or would you like people who are going to those events to represent yourself? What are your thoughts, please?
Well, our partners will be going to those events.
Of course they will.
So,
yeah.
And again, we did go to Groundswell and Cereals and Dairy Day UK, and so we've been to a variety of different events last year. I think we've targeted some of those again after Oxford Farming Conference. We also will have a suite of online seminars throughout the year.
Yep.
So those dates and times will be on the website that you can, I think there's one in January that you can log on to now if you want to.
Yeah. About
the role of livestock in sustainable agri-food.
Okay, and presumably if we all look at the website, so just to shout out the website again, www.schoolofsustainablefoodandfarming.org, there'll be a mailing list that we can sign up to?
There is, yeah.
Okay.
And we'll send out a newsletter to you.
Okay, and just go back to the Oxford Farming Conference. Can you just tell us what's your involvement with the OFC, please?
So we have been running an event supporting farmers to come forward to request prize funds that have been made available by our partners to work with the Farmers Guardian on a journey to net zero competition. And the idea is that at the Oxford Farming Conference, the last of those 4 finalists who were winners of those prizes will be announced. They've all been working away and delivered presentations last week, and all that information excuse me, will be shared at the Oxford Farming Conference.
No problem. This is the bit where I've got to cover for Claire. She has a bit of water, and if you're not, I think there still might be spaces for the Oxford Farming Conference. If those people on an international basis, if you're not aware of the OFC, it's a very well established conference that happens in the beginning of January. It has a number of keynote speakers, but again, as we're talking, Claire and I were talking about the community of engagement there is second to none. And I think there is an online offering of the OFC as well, but you'll see various videos, and if you follow the OFC on social media, you'll get a good feel for it generally. Claire, are you okay?
I think so.
She said, right, I've got a big question for you. I've got a contact in California and a contact, he's on organic lettuce, and I've got a contact in South Africa, the Hex River Valley on grapes. Can international people dial in, or is that a step too far? Or are you looking to embrace us all on an international basis as well?
I think it's really good to share, and I think it's about context. So it depends where those people are and what their problems are, and if we've got similar problems in the UK, we can bring people together.
Yep. Well done, Claire. I do think this. We're in such an amazing world of agriculture and fresh produce, and because we've got this ability to communicate virtually in lifetime, as you know, there'll be some people perhaps in California or in South Africa who might actually have a solution that we haven't thought of, or vice versa. So again, if we can do that cross fertilization and be open-minded in our thinking and not siloed, it's going to be of benefit to all, and even more so if we can have Harper Adams as that linchpin.
It's so important, and we do work, research work is all around the world. We've got projects as a university around the world, so it is about encouraging people to come forward.
Yeah.
But the school obviously has got a focus on UK farming initially.
Yep.
But internationally, it's in the plan.
Yep. And we know, Claire, would it be the likes of Harper and the placement students? I was blessed to have done my placement year on cotton in Australia, and it was the absolute making of me. Or the likes of Nuffield Farm Scholarship. Those in the UK or internationally, if you're not aware of Nuffield, just dial up Nuffield Farm Scholarship. They're such brilliant organisations, and what they positively do is challenge people's thinking by getting them overseas and meeting other farmers, growers, and just seeing how they operate. So you come back with a fresh mind and fresh thinking. So again, if we could do that to take it further forward, Claire, it might be a bit of a tricky question. A contact of ours just WhatsApped to say, are there not other organisations, businesses already doing this? Are you going to be covering the ground as other people? What's your views, please?
Yeah, there are others, and a lot of them are now joining us as delivery partners. So
okay.
It's how we work together and collaborate. As an example, the Agri Epicentres across the UK have got us a project around sustainability and a network, but we are, talking to them about how we can share what we're learning with their network and work together.
Excellent. Well done. Debbie, Kirsty, do you want to just come in? Because I'd love to get your input as well. Debbie, our weather girl, in her car in Cambridge. Kirsty, with your MDS students, are you getting a sense that they're wanting to see change, that they're wanting to find out more about the whole net zero and sustainability element?
Absolutely. And when it comes to applications, so this year alone we processed over 1,000 applications. Wow. And one of the questions we ask is, why are you interested in working in the industry? And I would say over 50% of them are talking about sustainability and environmental causes. They understand that there is a food crisis, they understand that there's issues with production, and they want to get involved. What they don't necessarily know, or maybe see with a little bit of a rose-tinted spectacles on, is actually how that change can come about, and that it's not all just about plastic reduction and lower water uses in factories. And I think something like Claire's doing is a fantastic opportunity for them to actually see real life examples of how sustainability can work and what it actually means, rather than some of the things that they're fed by the mainstream media.
Kirsty, well done. So Claire, just to cover that off, if we've got students, whether that be individuals doing A-levels or just starting out at the other colleges and universities, might not even be in the sector, but they want to get into the sector, can the School of Sustainable Food and Farming cover them, as well as perhaps big corporates wanting to get involved? Are you thinking that you'll be able to cover that whole reach?
Yeah, there will be some introductions to different subjects related to different types of farming and food production, and there will be some additional seminars and conferences that they can go to. And we opened one of our dairy conferences that we run for the school. We opened that up to our students as well, and they came along, and it was really good to have them there.
Yeah, and everyone, we just need to remember that this generation that Kirsty's referring to, they're now making that decision that if they've got 2 or 3 opportunities to go for, they will only go for that role with that company that has proven sustainability goals in place. And these kids kids, am I allowed to say kids? These younger individuals are sharp enough to find out what's if companies are greenwashing or not. They'll go in and they'll find out whether what you're talking about is genuine. So again, it's another reason to align yourself to this new school, so that you can adopt that within your business. Because if you want to get that younger generation in and retain them, and for them to be a success, and for your business to be a success on it, you've got to look down this route, get this information on net zero sustainable farming by being aligned to yourselves.
It's a huge opportunity for us at Harper to work with, you know, such big players that also have their own networks, like McDonald's and Morrison's and the NFU, and, you know, sharing that message across and being so open to work together. It's great to then attract more people to come forward and share their conversation, and you know, that's what we're looking for to grow.
Well done. I did a broadcast with a really interesting guy from TMAC at CropTech a couple of weeks ago, Nico Papworth, and he's ex-Harper as well. And he said, enjoyed it, time of my life. But when I first got there, there's 200 of us in the main lecture theatre, and we were asked to put your hand up if you did not have a direct connection with agriculture. And out of 200, one hand went up. But I think seeing now the changes that are happening, and just with what Kirsty's just saying, and as we with the myriad of other broadcasts that we've done, we're in the zeitgeist now of agriculture and horticulture and fresh produce to bring people in from other sectors. And so again, for this school to present that message out, and for them to pick that up either through Kirsty MDS or seeing this on a natural search on YouTube. We might, fingers crossed, Claire, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with those figures of what Nico said, but we do need to get more people into the sector, because it's just going to evolve the sector. We will, I think, see that high proportion of people from an urban background coming to the likes of Harper because of the likes of the school, Claire.
We're really trying to change the diversity of our student population, and it's getting the right message out there. It's interesting because sometimes it starts with the conversation with young people about what they like to eat, and therefore where they get that from, you know. And if you really love mangoes, to be told to buy local is a real problem for you, but then you can open up a conversation about sustainability and start to take them on a journey, and that's really, you know, what it's about.
Yep. And if an individual wants to find out about mangoes, come with me. We're out to Ghana again in February with blue skies, and it's just an amazing part of West Africa, and amazing people out there. So just to wind up, team. So Kirsty, you're going to be positive about the School of Sustainable Food and Farming. You're going to promote it within the MDS to all of your.
Absolutely. I think they'll find it really interesting. It'll definitely be included in our internal communications. They're really interested in just finding out more, and where they get that information is mostly online nowadays. So finding things that they can have a look at, and I had a look at your fantastic website, so I know it's going to catch some of their attention.
Yeah, well done. And I think it's so good that you've already got key partners such as Morrison's, McDonald's, and the National Farming Union. You can see that they're going to be more powerhouses coming along on the back of that. We'll just see if Debbie is there, because I'm a bit worried that she's been caught by the car parking attendant in whichever car park she was in. But I think we've lost them. So Claire, do you want to just wrap up before we lose your throats? And you've also got to go out and sing at your
I'm going to go and sing carols shortly.
So
I haven't got a voice left.
So wrap up.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. As I said, the school's really in a phase of growth now, and with new staff coming on board and new projects, research projects are ongoing again for this year. And we'll be launching this competition winners at the Oxford Farming Conference, and there's another seminar happening on the 23rd of January that you can take part in. But please keep revisiting the website, because there's so much new activity that we're working on at the moment right through the year, and it's going to start really growing. So it will become a place where you can find things, you can find people, and you can share information about your journey to net zero.
Claire, well done. I think we've all been looking for this linchpin of information and community and collaboration to go to on a UK and also an international basis, as Claire's already intimated. So the website again is www.schoolofsustainablefoodandfarming.org. We wish Claire and all of your colleagues all of the best with this, and anything that we all could do to support, we shall do. Claire, thank you very much for your time. You go out and enjoy the mince pies and the mulled wine.
You.
Kirsty, thank you very much. And Debbie will pay your car parking fine when you get towed out or wherever you are. And we'll see you very shortly. Kirsty, see you soon. Bye, everyone.